And welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ella Miller, rolling along, and we're getting ready to march. Because next Sunday, on March 30th, Trans Upfront Illinois, in partnership with Indivisible Chicago, is organizing a march and protest at Federal Plaza. This powerful protest aims to demand justice, equality, and recognition for transgender and non-binary individuals. And joining us now is Executive Director for Trans Upfront Illinois, Asher McMaher. Asher, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for taking time out. First of all, I have to let you know that you have several super fans out there. I reached out to a friend of mine who is the parent of a trans child. I was like, hey, just to let you know, like, because she had been sending me like information about the march, like the march is coming, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm having them on the show this year. And my friend just replied, all caps, Asher! I was like, wait, do you know them? And she's like, no, I don't know them, but they're everywhere and they're just wonderful. And it's so just to let you know, super fans out there, Asher.
Oh, that warms my heart. And I've been working with parents of trans individuals in the state of Illinois for almost a decade now. I've worked with over 400 families who have trans kids and young adults as they navigate healthcare, education, coming out to family, friends, pretty much everything from A to Z. My heart, and I'm a parent of a trans person as well as a trans person, really lives with those parents as they do their best to support their children, especially during this time.
Yeah, well, again, thank you for that. Just wanted to make sure that you know that your work is deeply appreciated by several people here. So can you tell our listeners a little bit about the history and the mission of Trans Upfront Illinois?
Yeah, absolutely. So even though I've been doing this work as well as a lot of advocates individually for a decade, we came together and formed Trans Upfront Illinois in response to all the executive orders with the Trump administration. And really the Trans Upfront is to center trans voices, trans needs. In this time, we wanted all the work that we're doing not to be about any one individual or one family, but bringing together the community and amplifying the work that needs to be done, amplifying the horror that we are facing currently, and really just bonding and creating a place where everyone can feel heard, seen, and validated and get the support and resources they need.
Yeah, so just to stick with that for a second. So the folks that you have been working with and that you have encountered, especially within the trans and non-binary communities, what has been the response to this administration? I'm sure that's a pretty dumb question because I think I know the answer, but what has been the reactions and like which policies have really kind of been hitting folks the most?
You know, we started right off the gate January 20th with the Trump administration just eliminating our existence. Right. And removing transgender, gender nonconforming, non-binary individuals and stating that we just simply don't exist, which you can put anything you want into writing. But at the end of the day, trans people have always been here and will continue to be here. There's no document out there that's going to erase who we are and our visibility. The one thing that has stemmed from this administration is the coalition that Trans Upfront has built. We have over 50 supporting organizations, from national organizations such as GLAAD and Lambda Legal down to small grassroots organizations such as ours or Worthy Community Center in Worth, Illinois, really coming together. We meet every week to talk about how to best support our communities, about the protests and ways that we can show up. We say that we will show up. We are boots on the ground. We will be there for whoever needs it, including, for instance, we drove to Deerfield, right, based on the middle schooler who's being discriminated against. Yeah. With each one of these executive orders, we're bonding together and we're sharing resources because we know that we need to be one united community no matter what we do as our individual organizations to make sure that anyone who needs it, we can support them.
Asher, can you tell our audience a little bit more about the issue with the student that's happening, just came up this week?
Yeah, absolutely. And this story is not a unique one. I want to preface that, right? Over the last decade and more, I mean, we go back in history, discrimination on the basis of gender identity is not a new story. We are lucky living in Illinois that we are a sanctuary state. We have Executive Order 19-11 that Governor Pritzker put into place to protect our trans kids. We have so many levels of protection. But in Deerfield, we have a mother of a cisgender. So for those who don't know, cisgender is a child or an individual who identifies the same gender as they were assigned at birth, who is using her child to further her agenda of exclusion of trans students in schools, including access to locker rooms and bathrooms. And this mother aligns and is a part of a hate group called Moms for Liberty.
Ugh.
And which is,
those people.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's utilizing her supposed child story to state that by having her child share a locker room and to also combat some misinformation. This locker room has private bathrooms in it. The family has been given multiple options. They are just trying to state that trans people are the problem, that a trans middle schooler is a predator for existing. There has been no force. There has been none of these other things that this mother is trying to perpetuate. But at the end of the day, we know the right-wing side is full of propaganda and misinformation in order to incite rage that is simply untrue. And so that's one of our missions at Trans Upfront, is to combat misinformation. Our trans kids deserve to be seen, validated, and grow up to be the incredible humans they will be, and be able to interact every day in their education just like anyone else in a safe space.
What kind of tools do you use to help with their morale and their spirits when, they're getting attacked from all ends?
Yeah, there are so many tactics that we take. For instance, I am the admin and founder of a Facebook group and Discord that's specifically for parents of trans individuals in the state of Illinois. We share resources. We are 100% free advocacy services. So we meet with parents one-on-one. We will go to the school board with them. We'll go to meetings with them, do their gender support plans. But we also offer twice a month town halls where we give information on executive orders as well as updates based on judges' rulings, access to medical care, affirming providers, school. Basically, whatever people ask us for, we do the research for them because we know information is power. Information is 100% power, because if you're navigating the situation alone, it can be overwhelming. Sure. And another thing that we do is my daughter is a trans person. She's 13. She is an incredible activist in her own right, and she leads a group called There Are Trans Kids Among Us, and it's trans kids playing among us, but they all meet on Zoom, and a lot of them have never met another trans kid before. They're from all over the state, and we've now just opened nationally, in which they get on Zoom, they talk about being trans, they talk about their interactions in school, they talk about how they're feeling about medical care, comparing stories, and having that sense of community at the ages of 8, 9, 10, young teens, older teens, while also bonding over a video game, because they deserve peers as well that they can talk to freely.
Yeah, because they're kids and they play video games, and that's what we got to look out for them. And that is brings us to what's taking action. So next Sunday, you are organizing a march and protest at Federal Plaza starting at 1:00. What is on the docket?
Oh my goodness! So yes, next Sunday, we are just overwhelmed with so much, right? We have all of these incredible endorsing organizations. We have a full lineup of inspirational speakers ranging from Commissioner Precious Brady Davis to local advocates, as well as the CEO of Brave Space Alliance, of Life is Work. Myself will be speaking as well, representatives from Equality Illinois. We have a group of trans teenagers who are leading our moment of silence for those that we have lost or are missing within our trans community. All of it is about empowerment, but it's also about demanding. We have put together as a coalition a mission statement and a demand, not only for us locally here in Illinois, but across the nation, that we deserve access, equal access to our rights, because trans rights are human rights. And that will be after the program, we will lead a march through downtown. We are expecting upward of 10,000 people to be joining with us in unity. And one of the things I've been telling people, if you don't belong to the trans community and you see yourself as an ally, remember, being an ally is an action word. What have you done recently to stand up with our community? What have you done recently to stand with us? Even if you can't be there on the 30th, repost. Spread the word, support a trans organization. We have Trans Day of Visibility on the 31st. Our organization just launched our first funding campaign. We are completely unfunded, self-funded in the work that we do, yet we serve hundreds of families across the state with volunteers to be able to get them those resources. So, again, if you are an ally or a member of the community and you want to show that you stand with us, show up.
Yeah.
Spread the word, even if you can't. Support an organization such as ours as we continue to do this work.
Yes, and let me say, in these times where things are not normal and people are not out on the street, that's normalizing not normal. So go out. I love, as soon as you said that ally is a verb, right into my head the song going, "What have you done today to make you feel proud?" has been going through my head. So be proud. And next Sunday, March 30th at Federal Plaza at 1 o'clock, join the March for Trans Visibility. For more information, go to transupfrontil.com for more info. Asher, you are a ding-dong rainbow, and I am so proud of the work that you are doing, and go kick some butt next week.
Thank you, Asher. We appreciate you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for the visibility and the boost here with Out Chicago. We hope to see you there.